A difficult day in court for those who knew Justine Ruszczyk-Damond. Prosecutors showed police body cam video of the night she was shot. Lou Raguse was in the courtroom all day and joins us live with what we learned from day 3 of testimony. Lou?
Julie, this afternoon, Lieutenant Richard Zimmerman, the top lieutenant in the homicide department, testified in very blunt terms that to him, when he got to the scene, a lot of it didn't make sense, that there was no weapon near the victim, and that her body was on the opposite side of the car from where Officer Noor shot. Today, body camera video gave us a sense of that scene. Body camera footage shot by one of the first Minneapolis police officers to arrive at the shooting scene shows firefighters performing CPR on Justine Ruszczyk-Damond, paramedics working on her and ultimately pronouncing her dead. Heartbreaking footage that Justine's parents watched from the courtroom while her fiancé Don Damond chose to leave before it was played. Prosecutors questioned Officer Scott Akins about the lighting conditions in that alleyway. He had already identified several of his colleagues and could tell firefighters apart from EMS. The prosecution clearly trying to show the jury that Officer Mohammed Noor should have been able to distinguish what he was shooting at before he fired. On the video, Officer Akins and several other officers were unclear when they could turn off their body camera video. At the beginning of his testimony, Officer Akins said, "Out of this incident, body camera policy changed. It was not as strict then as it is now." Also today, we finally got an answer to a question many of you have been asking. What about that possible rape victim that Justine called 911 to report? Well, Lieutenant Zimmerman said that while he was trying to identify Justine, he was also looking for a possible rape victim and a rape suspect. But Minneapolis police was not able to find either. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Lou. You can follow any updates from the Noor trial on KARE11.com and our social media pages.